Good morning. This is your morning medicine, that daily dose of truth. Take it raw, digest it, and let it do what it does. Heal. Today we're going to talk about this idea, the notion that prevention is easier than the cure. Truth is, your intuition will whisper long before life starts screaming. The body always tells the truth. The question is, do you listen? When was the last time you saw the signs and ignored them? When everything in you said, this doesn't feel right, but you talked yourselves out of it. Most of us have been there. We felt the energy shift in a relationship, or the unease in a new job, or that off feeling when someone came with a can't miss business opportunity. But instead of trusting what we knew, we silenced ourselves. We said we were doing too much, being paranoid, or just overthinking. We forget that instinct is intelligence. It's the wisdom of our lives experience, and it's earned. The kind of knowing that doesn't come from books or mentors, but from scars and survival. Our childhoods, especially for those of us that grew up around chaos, can trick us. When you grow up in stormy homes, you start to believe that thunder is normal. Chaos becomes comfortable. So when peace shows up, it feels strange, too quiet, too calm, and we run back to the noise that broke us. We mistake peace for boredom and stability for stagnation. But peace is not dull. Peace is divine. In relationships, the red flags usually start small. They show up as poor communication, defensiveness, tardiness, inconsideration, or lack of follow-through. They show up in how someone talks to you when they're angry, or whether they take accountability when they're wrong. But instead of seeing those moments as data, we treat them as exceptions. We tell ourselves they just had a bad day, they're stressed, it's not that deep. We fall in love with potential instead of patterns. In new jobs, the signs show up too. Confusion around your role, lack of structure, tension in leadership, promises that don't match the reality. You start to feel that in the pit of your stomach before Monday mornings. But you stay because it's stable or because I've already been here 10 years. I don't want to start over. But think about it. Does staying mean you're willing to give 10 more years to something that's draining you? And in business, it's no different. Sometimes the deal looks great on paper, but something about the people doesn't feel right. Maybe it's how they move. Maybe it's how they talk about others when they're not around. Or maybe it's the way your spirit tenses up when you're in the same room. That's not paranoia. That's protection trying to get your attention. We check reviews before we eat at restaurants. We check ratings before we buy a product. But we rarely check the credibility, consistency, or reputation of the people we date, befriend, or do business with. Prevention is easier than the cure, but prevention requires discipline. It requires you to pause before you get emotionally invested. Think about how companies operate. They will give you a 45-day probationary period for a reason. They don't want to invest too deeply before they get to know who you are. They're assessing fit. But we treat people and situations as lifetime commitments before we've gathered any data. We rush to give trust that should be earned. And then when it breaks, we act like we never saw it coming. You saw it. We always see it. We just didn't want to believe it. Now let's be clear. This isn't about cutting people off at the first mistake or ghosting folks as soon as they disappoint you. That's not maturity. That's avoidance. Rejection can be a form of violence. But protection is protection is protection. The lesson is to how to know the difference between a moment and a message, between a mistake and a pattern, between forgiveness and foolishness. I was taught, and this always sits with me. Once is a mistake, twice is a pattern, 3 times is a trend. And once something becomes a trend, believe it. People are fallible, forgiveness is divine, but discernment is wisdom. We have to learn to see people and situations as they are and stop seeing them as we imagine them to be. And part of prevention, probably the most important part, is knowing you. What are your non-negotiables? What are your boundaries? What are the signs your body gives you when something isn't safe? Tight chest, uneasy stomach, sudden fatigue. Those are your early warning systems. Establish your non-negotiables. Communicate them clearly. And then, and this is the important part, honor them. Don't let loneliness talk you into situations that cost you your peace. Don't let fear of starting over convince you to keep building on broken foundations. Being guarded is understandable when you've been hurt before. Just don't let those walls become your prison. Don't block out the blessings while you're trying to keep out the pain. I know it feels like a contradiction. In one breath, I'm telling you not to be guarded. In the other breath, I'm telling you to watch the red flags. It's all about discernment. The work is to not isolate, it's to integrate, to create a life where compassion and accountability coexist, where you give grace, but you also give yourself protection. Healing requires reflection, growth requires boundaries, and peace requires protection. So today's medicine is this: reflect deeply, protect your peace and your space. Trust the wisdom your body gives you, the goosebumps, the tension, the stillness. Don't let desperation or scarcity silence your discernment. Don't mistake intensity for love or longevity for loyalty. And don't forget, walking away is also an act of faith. Prevention is not fear, it's foresight. It's self-respect. It's saying, I'm not waiting for this to break me before I believe it's not for me. Because prevention is easier than the cure, always. And the cure, that's just the prevention you ignored. This is your morning medicine. This is Dr. Batts. It's a reminder that I believe in you, even when you struggle to believe in yourself, that I love you, even when you struggle to love yourself. If my voice is reaching you, if this morning medicine is reaching your ears, it's meant for you. And I encourage you to share it with someone who's having difficulties. Invite them to join our group. Someone that's struggling, someone that does not trust themselves when they have everything that they need to be happy, to be successful, and to be well. Share my voice. Peace.